welcome to Las Películas Sábados Gigantes at the Cinemarijuana Theatre.
You applaud for nothing. This is fraud applause.
Fraud applause.
For applause.
The shitlords of cinematic scrutiny from filmstain.com. Regurgitating cinema for you. Consuming it and shitting our opinions into your mouth. With the best of them.
Yeah, deal with that, America.
Yeah, we watch movies and then we talk about them, and that's exactly what we're here to do today. We are here today to discuss a film from 2009 by the name of I Love You, Phillip Morris. Right?
Yes.
Yes? Excellent. Okay. All right, so...
I like how you were so high last time you weren't quite sure. You're like,
What
that
was
is
the
what we
movie
did,
again?
right?
it does. It happens. It happens.
I wasn't
so.
watching Blazing Saddles again.
It happens from time to time. Okay, all right. Well, let's get introductions out of the way. For the Cinemarijuana Theatre, I'm Ed.
I'm Kenzie.
I'm John.
I'm Jason.
I'm Chris.
I'm Garrett.
All right. So, yes, I Love You, Phillip Morris is the film
I'm laughing at Jason.
we're here to talk about today. Let's see.
Was it my voice or was it my two-handed action I was
It was
doing
your
during the theme song?
Okay, this is a film that was actually selected by Jason. And these are our free-for-all round.
Whoa,
where
I
anything
always
goes.
select the films when it's my turn.
Well, yeah.
It's just sometimes I haven't watched them. This one I had a little bit of previewing.
Okay.
I'm famous amongst film stainers for just being like, so guys, this was next up on my Netflix list. Let's find out if it's any good.
If you are a glass half full kind of man, you are the most bold and adventurous of the selectors. If you are a glass half empty kind of person, you pick the worst movies of the group. So
Two ways to spin it.
I'm just kidding.
Two ways to spin it.
Seems a little frank.
I'm just kidding. I just wanted to be a little hyperbolic there to, put
That's
the
true.
screws,
Kenzie and
see a
Chris
little
are in
bit.
the room.
That's true. That's true.
Where's
That's
Kenzie?
true. Certainly,
Yeah.
certainly, Kenzie is responsible for the for Rent, which is
the
most maligned,
hated.
which is the
That's
which is
basically
sort
like
of-
a black mark that she can never escape.
I know.
Like
It's like-
we'll be maybe if we're still doing
like
this
a
in a
movie
few years,
abortion.
like she could be like do like 6 picks in a row that were great, and people are like, yeah, but she did pick Rent that one.
Yeah.
Rent the race.
It'll never go away.
But I mean, I guess if we're going
It's like
back,
that joke, like that. I think it's like an English joke, like where an Irishman is like grousing in a bar, like complaining about like, people don't, he's built this bridge in town, but do people call him, John the Bridge Builder? No. And he's also, put up a fine barn, but they call him John the Barn Builder? No. But you fuck one sheep.
yes,
And that's basically the syndrome as afflicting Kenzie.
one shit wipes out 100
See,
out of
I have picked bad films more than once, and Kenzie's got like I think 2.
Well, back to
Yeah.
the glass half full thing. I think Rent was an important selection for giving us one end of our spectrum.
we had to hit rock bottom
We-
before we hit a
that's
point where
what I'm
the only
saying.
way
We
we
now-
could go was up.
We now know where the wall is in that direction.
Yeah.
So
We've
now,
reached
Now,
the
really,
ends
your
of the
next cycle
universe.
ought to be
So
trying to
anyways-
press that wall a little further.
Oh God.
No.
No, we already did that with
be rough.
the fuck you picks.
No, but fuck you picks can be great.
no, I'm
And
telling
fuck
you,
you
man.
picks
No,
isn't
no
necessarily
one
dead.
Actually, you know what? I swear, if we actually do the fuck you round, I promise that you guys will like my movie less than Rent. I don't know that. I
I'm
mean,
sick that day.
I'm just really confident.
Right.
I'm
I'm
really
sick
confident
that
that you'll
whole
hate my
theme.
selection
I have
so
family
much.
obligation.
That's,
Yeah.
I hope we'll see the fuck you pick resurface from the depths. one
maybe
day.
maybe
Ed,
it'll resurface
Maybe that's a
tonight if
film
I
state
win.
Bubble up.
topic.
Ed, I'm
So we
getting
don't
married that day.
Actually, watch
so
it. You can just read about how awful these would be.
Yeah.
Can't miss that marriage.
In theory.
Okay. But
Anyways,
back on
Phillip
track
Morris.
here.
That's
Back on
right.
track here. I Love You,
Yeah.
Phillip Morris, from 2009, starring Jim Carrey, Ewan McGregor, Leslie Mann, and Michael Mendel.
Yeah.
Barely. It's really just Jim Carrey and Ewan McGregor.
Yeah,
For the
but
most
Michael
part.
Mendel was the guy that
I
said,
love
"My
Leslie
word is my
Mann.
bond."
Oh, that's the guy. Yeah, we need to make
He
a
was rad.
T-shirt of that.
Yeah.
Written and
word is
directed
my motherfucking bond.
That'd be great.
by Glenn Ficarra and John Requa.
Never heard of them.
Neither have I. That's interesting. These when you have these directorial teams, Little Miss Sunshine was directed by like a team too,
Right.
And that was kind of a
So was Swiss Army Man.
along similar
Yeah.
lines.
It's
The
irregular.
two
So is Captain America.
Yeah, the 2 most recent Captain Americas, the Russo brothers.
Yes. Okay. All right. So I guess before we get rolling,
Well, Kenzie should give us the
well,
synopsis.
but before that,
Underberg.
Let's not pull a
Oh, yeah.
Blunderberg and forget our Underberg.
every listener's favorite part where
Feel
they
free
listen to us
to
drink while they just sit there with their
fill
thumbs
the
up.
I hope you're
Silence.
enjoying your drive time.
Proper
That's
fans
right,
are drinking
that's
along
right.
with us.
This huge waste of airtime is
Garrett,
brought to
would
you
you like
thanks to Ed's
I'm not sure.
crippling
They scare
addiction
me.
to
I've been
Underberg.
listening to how you describe
This
them.
is the portion where we give out free advertisement to a company.
yes, but it's a fun company.
We should get funded by
At least
some
it's
sort
alcohol.
of nug providers.
That'd be great.
That's what I'm
like
saying.
the-
Or
Well,
Smarties.
I actually,
Smarties.
I fear that. I fear
Or
that becoming a brand thing, though. I feel like going like
Selling
well,
out to the man.
Yeah, I
No, you
I
want to
only
sell out
smoke
because then you can buy
this
shit.
brand.
Then we get free shit.
can
We
buy
don't have to
stuff.
buy anything.
Yeah.
Tonight's
You can live in
podcast
not a
presented
shithole.
by Underberg
Right.
and delicious Smarties.
We need like a tagline, like Underberg,
Population
mag
control
das
by
Pimplen
lifestyle.
kaputt.
And don't forget Romulan OG.
Bootios.
All right, well, Underberg, yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers to
Hey,
you.
Here's to
Cheers
you.
to
Here's to
Philip.
you, Philip Morris.
And you too. This is funny to watch. I've just been listening to it.
I always hope that part gets cut out.
Wait,
Here's
did
to
you
you.
not?
I don't
It
think
gets
it
shortened.
does,
It gets
dude.
shortened.
Oh, okay.
Good.
It does get
Good.
shortened.
Good.
Here's to you, Philip Morris, and your surprising lack of cigarettes.
Yeah.
Right.
That's strange.
I thought it was a documentary about the cigarette industry.
I did
I
too.
did too.
I'm
Yeah,
the one
I'm
who
like-
picked it.
I'm
I
like,
thought it was
I'm
going
all
to be a
in.
documentary.
This would be great. It'd be like Food Inc. again.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
the
man.
reason why you shouldn't have thought that is because they were wearing like jail clothes on the cover of the film, and no one from Philip Morris has ever gone to jail.
But who loves to
Right,
smoke more than
right.
prisoners, right?
Good one.
Yeah. Well,
Plus no Arabs.
Cigarettes are money to those people.
no, actually, yeah, cigarettes are like currency
Yeah.
in jail. Aren't they?
Yep.
All right. Okay, now, Little Milk. Synopsis time. Tell our intrepid listeners what this film was about.
Okay, this film is about Jim Carrey, who plays this guy, Steven. And he basically is living this lie his whole life, and he ends up with like a wife and kid. And
What's the lie?
that he's not heterosexual, so he shouldn't be living with a wife and kid, really.
His wife becomes a beard about 15 minutes into the film.
Yeah. Yeah, so then some shit happens, and he ends up coming out,
Gay.
and he's like the gayest gay man you've ever seen, but he quickly realizes that to live the lavish gay lifestyle that he wants, he needs to become a con man to afford that, because it's really expensive to be fabulous. So
Looks fucking rad.
yeah. So then he goes to jail and he meets Philip Morris, and the rest of the story is basically about their love connection and other shit that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
All right, pretty good synopsis.
Yeah, thanks. And Leslie Mann is in it, and she's
okay.
wonderful.
All right.
Yes, she is.
It was basically
her.
Catch
Yeah.
Me If You Can combined with I don't know some. Well they say Brokeback Mountain,
Yeah, there you
Yes,
go.
yes.
but
This
with
is
far
way
less
better
closet.
than Brokeback Mountain.
But with far less closet involved.
And much more anal.
And yes, yes.
Yeah.
Any cinematic slam piece here? Leslie Mann.
Ewan McGregor,
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
way he looked at the camera, sometimes I felt like he was in love with me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He has
Not
a
with
gift
Steven,
for that.
but yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's true. That's
He
true.
makes me feel tingly.
I guess
We would look good together in a picture.
I guess if I had
And
to-
some couple.
he,
We
he
would
did
make
seem
it. I mean,
he did seem like wifey material. You know what I'm saying? He did seem like wifey.
It wasn't
material,
even just
so.
him being wife material. It's just like he could look into the camera.
And he could love you.
Yeah. You were talking about that, like, English or British trained actors just, got their chops.
He saved
Yeah.
our plane from crashing once with his Jedi powers, or his good looks, or a combination of both.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
no
I'm sure
shit.
the midichlorian count was very high.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So,
Wow, I just
We
watched
should,
Ed
he
die
should
a
really
little
conserve his
inside with that.
ejaculate because that would be a good thing to spread in your face.
yeah,
Look at all that
well,
stuff I just said.
Do you ever wonder, Mandrake,
He-
why I don't
properties.
expel my precious bodily fluids during the
right,
act
right.
of love?
okay. I deny them, Mandrake. My essence. I should have picked that up in the Criterion sale, but I ended up picking up other stuff.
What?
At Barnes?
I know, well,
One of my favorite.
yeah. Well,
That's still
because
going on?
because yeah, it is. It is. The reason I did it though is because I own all the shit on like the first DVDs that were ever out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, when I have money to buy a
Are
new
they-
Blu-ray,
are they-
I'm like double dipping or.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but something like that.
No, I know.
It's worth a double dip.
I need to pick that up and the
sure.
Paths of Glory.
In my
Blu-ray
experience,
they
you
do.
want to dip as many times as possible before you can't anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I-
dip
you
while the
know,
dipping's good.
I think those are very prescient sage words.
Dip
know,
while
it's
you
like
got
putting
that
your whole
mushroom
mouth
tip.
in it.
Yeah. Okay, let's do 3 minutes, 3 words then. Yeah,
Yeah, probably.
and we'll
Before
start
the wheels
with
come off even further.
we'll start with Jason.
It's been a while since I had
Oh.
podcasted. Do you start with the 3 words? or
Do
you
we
end?
start with
No,
seeds
you
or
end with the
stems?
3 words.
He already did season
Oh
stems.
yeah,
You
I just
did?
yeah,
He
I just
didn't call it
it
seeds and
that.
stems, but when he says the people who do it,
I gave it
Oh,
out.
that's all it is.
that's all it is.
Basically.
Oh, okay.
I didn't say the filming location this time because it was mostly set inside a prison.
Well,
In
and some
jail.
have, I think, some movies have more
Rikers.
interesting season stems.
Yeah. All right, timer.
So yeah, so tell us first off why you picked it, and then what you thought of it, and then your 3 words, Jason.
So I actually thought it was a documentary about Philip Morris, and I'm like,
I thought we were making jokes.
there's not that many documentaries at Movie Lottery,
Right.
but let me take a little bit of a view of it, and then I'm like, wait a minute, is that Jim Carrey on the
what's he
cover?
doing in a documentary about
Yeah, is
cigarettes?
this like one of those dramatized documentaries? So I'm like, oh well, I am incredibly dumb.
Sold.
And I started watching it as antithetical as that is to my usual MO. And as soon as I realized like this is probably the momentum here is gonna keep going, I'm gonna bring this in. Like it has like right amount of like gay love, which makes some of our members uncomfortable. Although the one who gets the most like to a ridiculous degree uncomfortable was not here, and I really regret that.
That's
like,
too bad.
Yeah.
Who, Condi?
No, Condi could handle this.
Condi can handle some gayness. Let me tell you.
You're fucking what's his name?
Victor?
Yes, thank you.
Victor would have been climbing the rails for
You
this
should probably
shit.
send him a copy.
He would, He would always complain about like just like a little bit of butt or too much dick neck if like the guy's pants were getting pulled down or something, and like shame or something, or
neck.
the one
Yeah.
with Fassbender.
Dick neck.
Too much shaft.
Yeah, shame.
Yeah.
Shaft.
Shame.
They were going to call it Shaft, but that tub been taken already by
Yeah.
another movie.
Your D.
Which is funny because he
call-
was in
you
that
can
movie
rename.
Hunger by Steve McQueen, whose
Right.
name was also taken.
Oh yeah, there you go.
All right, sorry.
But yeah, it just has like that sort of like Catch Me If You Can is one of my favorite films, and so seeing some of this but much gayer, like I was like, why wouldn't I pick that ever? And then Ewan McGregor, I got far enough to see Ewan McGregor show up, and he's like this good little like down south, like a good old boy type of thing,
Yeah, Southern.
but gay. And
A
I was
gay
just
old
like,
boy.
yeah, a gay old boy. I was just like, let's just roll the dice on this one, bring it, and everyone loved it. So vindicated.
Yeah.
3 words,
Yeah.
new relationship goals.
All right.
Good one.
All right. Garrett,
Oh,
would you like to
yeah. I missed
to
the
opine?
screening with the group, but I have seen it before, and I want to set the context for that because it's nice to set the table. I am married. And one of the things that we do over the summer when the children are asleep is have little movie festivals for
Oh, I
ourselves.
thought you were going to say
Whoa.
something completely
Right.
different.
Sometimes that occurs
I don't
too.
think we want to know what you
Yeah,
thought he was
yeah.
going to say.
Yeah, boy. This
So here I
thing's-
was, lubing my wrists up.
That's right. That's right. I was getting loosened up. Well, so we had a Ewan McGregor festival one summer where we went through that kind of the back catalog, and we've paid attention to him for some time. And so this was one of the choices we made. Like let's watch this one, particularly because I remember this movie being promoted as a Carrey vehicle, and then it was promoted as a Carrey McGregor vehicle, and then the distributor said, this is a really homosexual movie, and we're not going to distribute this. And then thinking, well, that's like kind of outrageous. And also, well, what's wrong with it? I mean, if it's a bad movie, there's that.
But it
if
wasn't,
But if it, yeah, right. And having seen it, we all sort of agree it sounds like that it's a pretty good movie. Like, what a foolish decision. And on top of that, it could have been quite a moneymaker because there are sympathetic people to this kind of a story who would give it a lot of dollars at the box office. In any event, all of that was in my headwind. It caused me to pick this and put it in our little summer screening. So we did. And it's really great fun. Really great fun. And of course, there are certain moments that stick out. One is when he's trying to hump Leslie Mann, which should be no struggle for a man who wants to hump a woman. Another is when it cuts, as I recall, from that to sodomizing a dude in a hotel.
Yeah,
and
which
it
he was
freeze
way
frames
into.
on it. And it's so funny. And also, like, as a fella, it's like so erotically charged the way that you want sex to be. Really athletic. Although I'm not particularly capable of that. But then also you feel all
Just gotta do more
rad.
squat
And you
thrusts.
looked all good and you feel good. And then you're done and you get to just go about your business and sleep. And so something about that was gratifying. But then, as Kinsey rightly said, the love story part that takes over as the movie progresses becomes quite touching. Because Stephen, Jim Carrey's character, goes for all of this because he's just so very devoted to Philip, who's so kindly and so demure and so feminine and soft and pliant and needing protection, and that they meet in prison is extraordinary. And, of course, I really like Ewan McGregor's facial flaws, the growths and the little moles and things, and all that's really nice. He's got these nice flaws that make him even more beautiful. So there's that. But prison. And I had just watched like the whole of Oz going into it. So I had that as like a comparative experience of what prison's all about. So 3 words, go see it. It's a good touch. And make your parents sit next to you as you watch it, particularly if they've never thought about men actually loving each other.
They get to see it firsthand in this one.
Cherish that moment.
Yeah, because, in most ways, like, people who love each other behave in very similar ways.
Yeah?
No, that's true. Yeah.
Huh? They, too, cherish these moments.
Was that a Mortal Kombat reference? Well done.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Okay, Chris.
Okay.
Your turn.
Shit, yeah. What to say? What a great movie. Fucking hilarious. Man, I loved it. I had no idea what it was really going into. I thought I knew what it was, but I didn't. It was a different movie.
What did you think? What did you think it was?
Oh, I just thought, I don't know, there's another movie that Jim Carrey did that I'm supposed to watch that I can't remember what it is now. And it's
Man
not
on
the
the
cable
Moon
guy.
or The Majestic?
No. Oh, The Majestic, maybe? I don't know. I knew it was, I saw Jim
Eternal
Carrey,
Sunshine
and I knew it
of the
was a movie I
Spotless
hadn't
Mind.
There
seen
you
him
go.
in. And I
I
was
brought
like,
that tonight, by
no,
the
I've
way.
seen that movie and I like it. Anyway. And I was like,
Raul likes that flick, too. He's a
well, anyway. Yeah, it was great. And then I saw the title and I thought it was also about cigarettes, but
And you're like, I want to light up.
They really went wrong on this title. Like,
Totally.
everyone thought it was
Well,
a
I mean,
cigarette
it was
together.
about
I
smoking.
didn't.
I mean,
Just
it was
a
about
different kind of
smoking,
smoking.
just a different
Right,
kind
it
of
was a different
cigarettes.
kind of heat.
Different kind of,
That's right.
different kind of cylindrical object.
really likable guys, man. They're both so likable. I mean, he's a terrible guy, but he's so likable. That's what really struck me, I guess, was Jim Carrey. Just, I mean, I would have fallen in love with him too, I think, if I was in prison and he helped me out.
Be hard not to.
Who knows, I mean,
There's all this good attention.
He has
Yeah.
all this kind of stroke.
seems like a great guy.
He had serious
Right.
stroke up in,
Big time
in-
stroke.
in the can.
And who cares if he's stealing money?
Yeah.
I
Money's
don't
not
know.
even real, dude. It's not backed by anything.
Yeah.
It's backed by somebody's word.
Yeah, it's just the wrong person stealing it instead of the banks. Anyway.
And their word isn't their bond.
Yeah, so many great moments. This movie is full of like memes, man. And it's like you could just take any.
Other than the word is my word is my motherfucking bond. What else are you seeing there?
Oh, just moments. I was just thinking of like that part where, like where they're fucking, it pans down and it's a dude, and like just there's so many just scenes where you could take like out of context and put some.
I
words
thought
to it
you
and be
loved
funny.
me. Spits come in the ocean.
Yeah, this movie has some amazing moments in it. I don't know. I don't really know what else to say about it. It's great. But
And Rodrigo Santoro shows up as a boy toy.
is that his?
So that was his first love
boyfriend?
after
Yeah,
that was
Yeah.
the one.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
He's the Tom Cruise of Brazil, I think it is.
Oh.
Really?
And very soon
That
after,
sounds so hilarious.
I know, and very soon after he
That
was on
sounds
Lost,
fun.
and that one kind of throw off episodes like Twilight Zone. Anyway,
Was he?
yeah, that was him.
That one with
And he's
that
he's
girl?
300. He's Xerxes.
Okay.
Oh, that guy!
That guy, right?
Okay.
Holy shit!
Right.
Jeez.
I was thinking of that guy as being like 8 feet tall. 'cause
You're
of
right, of course,
the
right.
film tricks they did.
Can you
in
imagine the
300.
size of a cock and an 8-foot tall man?
I don't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
And there's no imagination.
I'm sure he can show you the scars.
Yeah. That's why he wears a mustache.
Looks like it looks like the anus of someone who's a human centipede middle.
Good one.
Okay, Chris, your 3 words.
Butt Buddy Blues.
Oh,
Hey, good one.
nice.
Triple B.
Alliterative too. It's got some poetry.
Triple B. There we go, dude.
Triple B.
Very good. Okay, I guess that's me.
It's you.
Yeah, I too was in the cigarette camp. I was like, well, fucking, we had a thank you for smoking, and now let's have fucking I Love You Phillip Morris. Like, what next? The Insider or whatever that fucking one is that
Right.
Pacino was in or something, and
I also
Russell
got
Crowe.
confused. I thought Jason Reitman also directed this.
Directed
Thank You.
Right.
Well, I actually really like his work so far too. So that would have been yeah, I'm sure that would have been fine. Yeah, so clearly not knowing anything about this film, I was surprised at pretty much every turn, including finding out who even was in the fucking thing. I had no idea.
Just a bag of surprises for you.
And it's funny because I worked at Blockbuster. Like, I'm sure I put this fucking thing on the new release wall, and I was just totally oblivious.
Well, you know, it's funny because the poster and the cover, it's the two of them leaping into the air,
Right.
making a heart.
Right.
And it's kind of a good visual image that I can see you not really paying attention to who it is.
Right.
You don't look at the faces; you just see these two guys
In their jumpsuits, you kind of
Yeah,
go,
and the
that's
prison
real
orange jumpsuits.
institutional, all right.
Yeah. So you
for
kind
some
of get it
reason-
without having to look deeper into it.
For some reason, I'm only picturing the cover to Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist.
Right.
That's all you can see now.
I can only
It's
think
burned
of
into your
Backdoor
retinas.
Yeah.
Well, dude, think about all of the
Yeah.
different movies you put up on the new release wall in your time at Blockbuster.
Well,
all
but
of the
That's-
thousands
yeah.
of
Yeah,
times.
okay,
That's what I
yeah,
was
but
thinking.
I
Give
can
yourself
remember a
some
lot of them. Okay. Well, so anyway, so this movie was pretty fucking bitchin'. I got to say, I think Jason has somehow worked his way into a contender for best of the series.
Wow.
At least
Wow.
this far. We still
say
have
that
some
again,
picks.
but
What was the
slower.
other
Yeah.
really
We
good
still have
one?
the other one, What We Do in the Shadows.
And
I
Youth.
think
No,
is the.
there was another one besides.
I
that.
think What We Do in the Shadows is the closest competition he's got.
I thought there
Because
was
what have we
another.
done? We did Youth. We did Wedding Days. We did.
Hey guys, what about Thief of Baghdad? I
Right,
thought that was
right.
the best one.
I
We
like
did
that.
Thief of Baghdad. We did.
I liked how Kenzie was retconning that on the. Like, this is just Aladdin, bitches.
So, I think.
Basically it.
Wait, it was.
Chris
I mean,
picked Youth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Garrett,
Yes.
have you picked?
I think
he
Style
went-
Wars.
yeah,
I
he
did
did-
it.
he
all.
was
Oh, I like
first.
Star Wars.
He was
Oh,
first with Star Wars. But I think everybody was really
Yeah,
fond of What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't
Yeah,
be?
this would be a good. Yeah, I think you're right. This
And I mean, well, we still have a few picks left, so we'll see what happens. But I
It's
think right
definitely
now,
not
like you know,
Snig is still yet to pick.
especially and she tends to
She seems
hit
to
home
bring it.
runs.
Yeah.
She's like sort
She
of
just throws the heat.
She's like a she
Yeah,
condi.
I love cats, and here's something you should all see. I'm out.
A Shandi.
She's like a she condi with better taste.
She kind
I thought you were gonna say better tits.
I assume that's true.
I haven't
Yeah,
seen
but
hers
condies
to be
aren't
able
that hard
to
beat. To be
confirm
fair, that's
that.
not really
But I've
a
seen
compliment.
condies, and they are a fucking mess.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I prefer.
It's
when
been a
we
while
put
since I've seen
lights out.
Condi, so I will reserve judgment. Even though I saw
Mournful
hers earlier
tits.
today.
Sweet, mournful, yeah.
mournful.
They look like two suicide notes stuffed into a glitter bra.
You just want to give them a tasteful funeral.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
good.
Okay. So
The tree of woe.
this movie was totally was a lot of fun and very moving. And what was one of the things that was the most surprising about it for me was the fact that Jim Carrey is kind of a person who I'm sort of weird with in terms of the films I've seen him in, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But for the sake of brevity, my 3 words for this film are pleasantly surprising, moving.
Okay, yeah, it works. 3
Because
words.
comma's not a word.
Sounds like my lower GI.
Your-
Excellent. Oh, that's
Your
great
3
news.
words and 1 punctuation
Great
mark.
news. Great news. All right, Kenzie.
Okay. Of course, I love this movie.
Yes.
Whoa.
Important praise, right?
audience success.
There you go.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
girl goes for it.
Jim Carrey is not someone who I think of as my favorite actor person.
Yeah.
group.
You don't have to be
Who
embarrassed
does?
saying that. I mean, that's.
I know, but so I think he really surprised me in this. I don't know if someone told me about this character, I would have been taking it seriously. But not knowing anything about the film, it was easy to do that, and I think he did a really good job. Actually, both of them together, I thought had really great chemistry.
Yeah.
Sure.
This is definitely one of my favorite love stories now. So, if you like love stories, go see it.
Did you also get fooled by the title and think it's about cigarettes?
No, I don't know what Philip Morris is.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, it's cigarettes, but I still don't really know.
Well, we're still at a 4 out of 6.
Yeah, so
Philip Morris is the parent company of a number of cigarette brands, including Marlboro, but they also do Pall Mall.
okay.
And many others, I'm sure.
Is
I don't
cool in there.
I don't know. John, can you
Yeah,
look
let
up
me
the
see
Philip
who-
Morris
who the
brands,
Philip
please?
Morris brand.
Let's let Kenzie go on.
Yeah,
while
let's
he
do
does
this
it.
during
Before
my
we
3
get into
minutes.
digression about
No,
cool.
no, he's going to look while you talk.
Okay. with the AIDS joke, that whole prank in general.
I don't know if that was a prank. That was more of a like.
Dude,
I guess it was pranking the Texas correctionary system.
I
It was the
mean,
ultimate prank.
because of that character, I'm calling it a prank. I mean, I know he was doing it on purpose.
So if it was
but
James Franco, it wouldn't have been as pranky to you.
if it were like a more serious movie, it wouldn't have been a prank. But anyways, so I was definitely like holding back tears.
Oh wow.
I was almost about to cry.
Really? Okay.
Oh man.
Yeah, and this is like the second movie that's made me almost cry.
What was the other one?
I don't remember.
Oh jeez.
I was getting a little
was Black
stuffed
Sheep.
up too.
She was like Human Centipede too.
Yeah. I really like those movies. By the way.
She thinks the first one's better than the second one, though.
It is.
We fight about this all the time.
Anyways,
Yeah, so I really became kind of attached to the characters, so I thought the end was a little bit frustrating. I know
Right.
it was like funny, they made it funny, but I still would have liked a happier ending.
Because Homeboy's still in jail, right? I mean,
Yeah.
he's still serving
Yeah.
his sentence.
for like 100 years.
Long
Yeah.
120 or something.
Long time.
And I also like, again, with my attachment to the characters, like really feel like Jim Carrey is an asshole because like
The actor or the character?
the character,
Okay,
because
Oh, he definitely is.
his boyfriend all like has the courage to break up with him and like try to dismiss this toxic person from their life, and he just all forces his way in and fucks up everything for him.
Yeah.
So as much as I love this movie, I'm surprised at like how kind of angry the character Steven makes me. But anyways, I love the movie. I hope everyone listening sees it.
I hope
and
those
tells their
filmmakers
friends to
have
see it.
a future that's
Yeah.
got this kind of star talent associated with it.
I mean, after
Yeah.
people hear this podcast, they should
I
probably.
think I,
Well, I just made their career.
I'm expecting an actual theatrical reissue.
Yeah, I mean,
After people get
After
into
hearing-
this
yeah.
this
Probably.
podcast.
after
Okay.
our listener hears
They're probably
this,
going to do a 4K transfer
words?
just because of us.
I guess my 3 words are amazing love story.
There you go.
Yeah, good
Yes.
one.
All right.
So
John,
And just to answer your
That's a
question,
disciplined audience you have in the floor.
they're Japanese.
they know when to go up. They know when to stop.
All right.
some of the American cigarette companies that Philip Morris does are Marlboro, Red and White Basic, Chesterfield, Parliament, Merit, Virginia Slims, Benson and Hedges.
Yeah.
All right, and your 3 words?
And then my 3 words are Dji Sam So.
What?
The most popular Indonesian brand of cigarette.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Virginia Slims are
And we're
nasty.
I have to take your
I
word for
had,
it.
I had
on
a
that one.
buddy that
Those-
his mom
those for
smoked
girls.
them when
Yeah.
I used to smoke. and
Right.
his mom smoked them, and then
Right.
we'd run out of smokes.
And whenever you hooked
And-
up with her, you just taste that.
And
in
he'd
her
be,
breath.
yeah,
like,
yeah,
You're
no.
like an ashtray.
Was her
No,
name Barb?
Yeah, it was. But her ass tasted like an ashtray. Actually.
Right.
Better than the Virginia Slims too.
Vagina
But
Slims.
he'd be like vagina slimes. He called them actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
And we would smoke them, and it was terrible when we'd run out.
And of course, as teenagers, you would smoke them.
That's why
Because it was all you
teenagers should
could get.
have more access to cigarettes, because God forbid they should have to fucking smoke Virginia Slims.
Well, I
Yeah.
used to laugh because when
That's what I need.
I used to work at a drugstore, people do beer runs. Kids steal beer. They
Oh, yeah.
always steal Coors Light.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys can steal something good. You can steal the expensive beer. But no, they steal the
Because
cheap shit.
if you're caught, you're screwed.
right,
whether it's
either
a-
way,
yeah.
why would you steal
Well,
the cheap shit?
and also you steal a 6-pack of Sierra Nevada Torpedo. That's gonna fucking put you on your ass
Way
way
worse.
faster than
It's
that
going to do your job.
case of fucking Coors Light you just got.
I would just stand at the alarming, busted open doors, shaking my head. Kids.
See fools.
Okay,
Man,
all
all
right.
right. Yeah, well, to give Jason the cinematic slam, I also loved this movie.
It feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah. Just like
Gonna get him a
a
tissue.
nice accolade like load all over my
It's
skin.
going to
he's
be caught
rubbing
in your
his body
mustache.
for our listeners.
I do have to
have
break
a
with
visual.
tradition
Yeah,
because
it's
I did
physical.
know this movie.
Sensually.
I hadn't seen it, but I had heard of it, so I knew basically what it was about in advance. So I didn't think it was about cigarettes. I didn't want to see this movie initially because I thought it was more of a spoof comedy. Because from the description I got, I figured that
Right.
like the joke was these 2 guys go to prison, and even though Jim Carrey's straight, he falls in love with this guy in prison.
Where did you get that?
It was a marketing shift. It goofed it up.
Yeah, it's, I mean, because
Oh, wow.
even the poster and stuff, it might have been a trailer I saw. I don't remember, but
I'm
just
sure
had
they
this
tested
concept.
it to some group of 15-year-old boys
Yeah.
in Glendale who were like, "We don't get it.
Yeah, we
Men
don't
can
get
actually
it."
put their dicks in each other's bodies."
So I thought
How
it
come
was
it's
like
a Jim Carrey vehicle?
Yeah, I know. They wanted, somebody stop me. But I thought it
wanna
was.
put my dick in you.
I thought it was great.
I'll bet he did ask him more than a few
Yeah,
questions.
nice.
Oh,
There should have been a scene where they were talking butt to butt.
Should have said, "Can I ask you a
Ask
few
you.
questions?"
Oh, my
And then he would have got fucked.
Oh my god, that is bringing me back. His little butt character from Ace Ventura.
But yeah, this movie is a lot of fun.
That's a long time
I kind of
ago.
thought they did sort of goof on the gay thing a little bit, like it was like they still obviously thought the concept of being gay was kind of funny.
Right.
Which I don't know. I mean, that's not a bad thing necessarily, but it was still a little spoofier than maybe a straightforward movie would be.
Well,
when handling.
Is it different than like a couple, a hetero couple that's just like really goofily in love with each other?
Well, but you couldn't derive humor from the concept of a man and a woman being into each other. But I
unless
think
it was
they're
like kind of
well,
crazy,
but
like
I
the
think-
beginning of
well,
Frozen.
right?
Yeah.
But I think there just is some humor derived, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, I'm just saying. I just think it shows that even with a progressive film, there
All
can
right.
still be some lack
Yeah.
of progression.
The proverbial spoonful of sugar helping the
Sure,
medicine go
exactly.
down.
But
Sure.
other than that, though, it's great because it's amazing. I mean, it does tell a great love story, and it doesn't matter whether the character's straight or whatever's going on because it still is very engaging and touching, and heartwarming and tear jerking at different times. Especially Jim Carrey's supposed death.
Yeah.
Which we all bought. I think hook,
we-
line,
we
and
were
sinker.
all
Everybody.
man.
He stars
Completely.
himself,
That's how
right?
the
So he
music-
becomes
the
quite
movie
amazing.
starts
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
too.
They do a great job of the movie making you think that this is it, and
Yeah.
then we're taken for the ride along with Ewan McGregor, and
This just springs to mind that it must have been after that, but I feel like there's a scene, right, where Philip is out on a baseball field or something, and Stephen is in a bus driving away, and he's just overwhelmed. Am I
Yeah,
making any sense at all?
it's the part where because they're living together in prison and then
They're separated.
and then they're separated. And it's the part where they're
Oh, yeah.
where they're moving
Yeah.
Jim
Right,
Carrey
right,
from the one
okay.
person to the other, and yeah,
Philip Morris
he
goes
breaks
out into the yard,
Yeah.
which he normally doesn't do because it's not safe for him.
Right.
And he's running alongside
Right.
when they're taking him off in the
This
bus.
public expression.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is a big thing.
That was
for
really.
that.
That was really.
It's-
I think.
it's really
I think we had
touching
to,
and
we had to sort of
powerful.
pause that and go get a little water and think about what we're watching. Wow, this is wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't behave this way.
What year was this out again? Is it
2009.
Oh, it's not that long ago.
No,
No, it's relatively recent. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. It really hits on all levels, and it's a great pick, and it's definitely a contender for best film of the series. I believe it is streaming on Netflix Instant, so
Yeah,
you
that's-
can watch it.
that's how I,
viewers at
Oh,
home.
that's how we watched it.
Because it's
right?
on my Netflix.
Oh,
queue,
okay, there you go.
remember?
Yeah, so it was the next
Right.
pick on your Netflix queue.
You're almost
Your
guaranteed
usual
to find
MO.
my
That's how
picks
it's
on the
picked.
Netflix queue, unless
Yeah.
So yeah, so my 3 words are I Love You Phillip Morris, as in the title being one
Right.
word.
Well, if you use hyphens,
Right,
you know,
exactly. I
liberally,
love title
It matches,
of this
yeah.
movie.
You know, you can also use hashtags to turn anything, any
Oh, good.
phrase or
There you go,
sentence
okay.
into one word.
There you go. So I love hashtag
man.
I Love You Phillip Morris.
Mine's just going to be 3 hashtags next time.
Hashtag
Yeah.
no regrets.
I'm going to hashtag an emoji.
So it just dawned on me that this is one of those sort of this movie's kind of one of those gateway art flicks.
Yeah.
This is like one of those
A
movies that like
gateway
yes, very wow. I can't believe I didn't come up with that myself.
Why is it in parentheses, of course?
Because it sort of it is. I think it bridges that gap of
This is
being
an art
palatable to.
It felt so mainstream to me. Other than
that's
it
it.
was gay.
But it's. I don't know. It's sort of it's sort of this kind of romance about a subject that is still taboo to many, and
It makes people real crazy.
Yeah.
To see that
Yeah.
the fellows want to interact with each other with their bodies.
well, and I think it's done. It's not that it's an intellectual film, but I mean it doesn't. I don't think it speaks down to its audience either. I don't know. Like this is kind of like
Well,
like
Son
I
of
said, like
Rambo,
Little
I
Miss
wouldn't say
Sunshine.
is
See, I
intellectual,
would.
but that seems more.
It's just, like any
That
kind
was
of like
more
little
artsy.
indie flicks
Indie.
like that, or like kind of I consider like.
I mean,
on
if this
the-
was an indie film, then it just had like really clean production values. That just
yeah,
screen
but
big Hollywood
I just
release.
mean like if you've got somebody that you want to that you think might like good movies because they only see shitty movies. this is a good this
Oh.
this is like, you know what I mean? Like this
Where
is like a
you're
gateway
not going to
drug.
see a lot of effects. You're not going to see like a lot of the typical things that a Hollywood movie.
Well,
is
it's
gonna
worth. It's like
contain. It's a story.
It's good writing.
Based on a story.
It's good everything. It's
Yeah.
good writing. It's good acting.
Which
it's
is
good.
ironically now
direction.
kind of
Well, it's
associated
very
with
entertaining
Indian
too.
art.
Like you said, with A Spoonful of Sugar. I mean, there's because of his escapades, the movie never really gets boring. I mean, it's
Yeah,
a
not
love
at all.
story, but
Because he's still doing a gag.
well,
all the way
exactly.
through.
So it's a love story in between a guy who's constantly on the run from the law. So it doesn't get boring or slow. It's always moving.
Always tension.
Yeah, there's always something going on.
Okay. All right. Before we get to these questions, John, you got any dank nugs on this film for us?
There's not a ton. I mean, obviously, this movie is based on a true story, and there was a real guy who is still in jail.
Yeah.
For the next
for
120
for
or 40 years.
something.
In
Many more
solitary,
years.
too?
It was like 2
Yeah,
life
like it
terms.
said,
Oh
he
my
only gets
God.
basically an hour for exercise and showering,
That
and otherwise
sucks.
he's locked up and even then he's watched the whole time he's doing it.
Does
so
he
that
really
because
deserve that?
well, I guess they figure
Well, we'll
if they
talk
take
about that
if
in a
they
minute.
take their
Yeah.
eyes off him, he'll escape again.
'Cause, this is not violence.
So yeah, film is based on the real life story of Stephen J. Russell. In the final courtroom scene, Stephen's lawyer is played by the real Phillip Morris.
Oh, no
So
kidding.
that was
What about a solitary?
shit, that's
Oh,
right.
no,
I'm
Phillip
sorry,
Morris,
yeah,
not
sorry.
right, Phillip Morris. I made the same mistake when I read the fact.
You mean there was a cigarette
a real cigarette was there?
The owner
with
of
a stock certificate saying, I own you?
Jim Carrey shaved his hairline back because he thought the character was a very cerebral person, so he wanted to create
A bigger brain,
a bigger brain, a bigger dome.
like Albert Einstein, the
I'm
young
curious
one.
about if he shaved the other dome.
He's got a-
Never got to see that.
and if he has to shave his other dome, yikes! He should be probably under a microscope.
And I mean, that's basically it. There's a couple of references to other Jim Carrey movies. They make a reference to Bruce Almighty, and there's a reference to Liar Liar.
But surprisingly, he doesn't ask anybody any questions.
No, he doesn't ask anyone any questions.
There is no assing.
What a
Yeah.
letdown.
There was a lot of things going into asses, but no questions coming out
No
of it.
questions. yeah.
They weren't asking their own questions.
Okay, all right. Well, Bowles,
You
Deep-
say that, but they only depicted anal sex once.
No, I know that's true. There wasn't a lot of things.
Yeah.
Going
I
into
thought it
asses.
was twice.
It was implied.
No, the
many
boat
times.
scene was an oral scene.
Yeah.
There was a lot of oral scenes. I
Well,
thought one
because, I mean,
time-
that's where it's at. Yeah.
I thought I showed him in prison one time.
Well, in prison, he's like, enough romance, let's fuck. But they didn't
Yeah.
actually
I
show.
remember the guys giving him a blowjob too, but don't show that
That's
either.
hot.
And
Yeah,
he's
they
like,
see him
you
like
know,
you see him go down south, but you don't.
You don't see.
You don't,
It's
you don't
only that
catch
one
any-
scene.
Any of the
In my
action.
mind, it was happening all the time.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
You were
I mean,
connecting
you're
some
in
dots
prison,
yourself.
you're
This
sharing
movie
a
speaks
cell
to
with
you
your
emotionally,
lover.
Chris.
Yeah.
You want to be experiencing that blowjob.
I'm a
I
huge
can't
fan of
believe.
anal.
I wish they'd gone into this.
right. Huge fan.
I can't believe. I wish they'd gone into this a little bit more. But like living in a cell that size with your lover
Oh.
seems like that was just like death for a
a good point.
relationship.
Yeah.
Right.
you
You,
think,
you
yeah.
can't escape. You have to find isolation from isolation.
Yeah.
It's a
Wow.
bad weekend vacation that never
Yikes.
ends.
Yeah.
I feel like
the
the
opposite.
Big
Speaking of
Bopper
Bernie's Bernie.
in the Big Bopper's wedding.
Goodbye, baby.
Let me out of here. Okay, Bowles Deep. We got a couple of questions we wrote down.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so I guess as this seems to be the one that's sort of risen to the surface. Does the sentence fit the crime here? I mean, okay, so
No.
let's talk about. Okay, so here's the thing. He's obviously a tremendous pain in the ass, and he's obviously costing taxpayers money every time he does this. But at the same time, this is a man who is not a violent offender
Yeah.
at all, and who has not actually harmed anybody.
And I don't think
physically.
even with his financial philandering that he's ruined any lives.
right.
'Cause a lot of his stealing is insured by some other benefactress or benefactor.
Or it was
Right.
like that rounding error sort of thing, like from Office Space.
yeah.
Now,
Right.
not to
There you go.
excuse the illegality
Sure,
of,
that
of his
can-
actions, and certainly see, because this is the problem. I mean, when you have somebody who goes to such lengths to, shove it right back up the justice system's ass, like I feel like you've got to do something, but somehow like solitary confinement for the rest of your life, for like just non-violently
Being
robbing a
slippery?
bunch of money, and basically finding ways that your system is flawed for you, doing you the favor of pointing out the chinks in your armor.
No,
Like,
and Catch Me If You Can.
Right,
They ended up
he's-
hiring the guy. I
that's
wonder if
right.
maybe
Yeah.
this guy's gay. They're like,
That
you know,
becomes his new job.
drop the hammer on him.
I think that's
Yeah.
kind of the overall point, maybe of this real story, but also the judicial system and part of this question's heart. If he were not gay and exposing us to his gayness as a fictional narrative,
Right.
as a real narrative, it would be handled differently. But the bare fact of his identity and the pursuit of these crimes to sustain that identity is abhorrent to a lot lot of people.
I mean, people forget this was set in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, and they
And
tend
this
to
makes-
be.
Go ahead.
I was just say they tend to like I mean they're very fond of the death penalty.
Yeah.
In Texas, like
I feel like a
traditionally.
lineup of movies could be this and Bernie and The Insider and Dallas Buyers Club.
Right.
Just a quadrilogy of those in a single sitting and make the governor watch them.
Yeah.
And then he'd be like, yep, did the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
actually
no kidding.
reminded me of Bernie a lot too,
Did it?
because I'd seen that. And there's
Yeah.
a
That's a
similar
Jack
sort of
Black
thing.
film?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost picked that film.
Oh, that would have
Is that on
almost
top
been
of your queue too?
very
Yeah.
similar, very similar pick.
That's funny. Because I actually did think of Dallas Buyers
Right.
Club. I mean, I think I think if you've seen it, I think it's kind of hard not to. Because,
Right, because there's a funny
you know,
connection there, but I think part of the connection that we struggle over is the way that Stephen, after a point, realizes what and who he is and pursues it without terrific regrets, because he loves Phillip Morris. It's in the title, and love makes you some stupid shit.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, so we're all. Does anybody have an idea what you should do with him? I mean, like life imprisonment, but like he doesn't have to have solitary, or.
I
And
mean,
then what if he gets out again?
No, just hire him like they did with Frank Abagnale Jr.
Yeah.
which was a Catch Me If You Can guy.
Because that's kind of how I felt by the end of it.
he's
was
well
like,
paid, Mr.
Yeah.
Abagnale.
Right.
The AIDS prank was so the ultimate prank that he
God,
should
yeah.
get a you win pardon.
Like, all
The
right, you
governor-
beat us.
dude. I'm not shitting you. The president should be like, look, okay, you win.
You were so
Because,
committed, yeah.
Well, and dude, this is the ultimate prank, dude. You fucking fooled everybody. You faked your own death. Dude, this
Signed
is holy
himself
shit.
out of judicial
Yeah.
custody.
Like holy shit, you fucking you win because your shit is non-violent. You just beat us.
The
They
problem
should
is-
just pardon his ass.
I feel like if you make the cops look stupid, they don't like that.
No,
And
they
he
don't.
Really
And that's why they have to. That's why
Yeah.
they have to clamp down.
Yeah.
Dude.
right, because he
like
really
how
obviously
about
made the whole
this?
system.
Maybe he should become a tenured faculty member in a theater department at a community college.
Hey, that would
Because
be
I know
a-
something about that universe.
That so
And
what
I-
you're saying
and I
is that's a
think he-
worse sentence.
And but man, you draw a salary, you get benefits.
See,
you
there
know.
you go.
For
there
a
you go.
state whose 50% of their exports is queers, you think they would go a lot softer on that?
Yeah, yeah. You know that's funny. That's funny.
I like it.
Okay, well, so that brings me to the next question I have here. So we sort of it's sort of been accepted that Phillip Morris was the reason Jim Carrey did all this stuff, but is it not possible that that was just his excuse to live a life of deviance, and that he had like those kind of compulsions and would be robbing and stealing and swindling and pranking to feel like he was alive with or without Phillip Morris,
Yeah,
and
like
that
no
just
matter
gave
what.
him and Phillip just gave him an object with which to be able to justify his deviance.
That's his rosebud.
Is that so? Yeah, that's what. But so
I mean,
is he not then an asshole?
Well, we don't know how much time passed between him returning after his so-called death and getting caught again.
Right.
But it seems kind of like that Phillip Morris was kind of starting to become his moral compass.
I guess that's.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess.
correcting him a little bit, right?
I guess at that
Moral
point
Morris. More
too.
oral.
Why would you
moral.
come back? Like unless like at that point, like he got away. Like why would you fucking come back?
Yeah, you should definitely leave the state.
Yeah, you would think like you would fucking be gone. But and so I mean, I suppose I don't know. I'm not saying that he didn't feel as strong as he thought he did, but
Maybe
is
he
it
wanted to be
possible that
caught.
he would
Maybe
have been
deep down or something.
Is it possible that he would have been so roguish, even if Phillip Morris had never?
I mean, yes. I think no matter what, I think maybe that's sort of the thing is like you can be, even if you do bad things from a legal point of view, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're a bad person exactly. Because I don't think there's anything false with his love for Phillip Morris, but like he would have been doing that stuff no matter what.
He was already in jail,
Right. Well, that's what. Yeah, and I mean, I think that like if things in jail didn't go his way, he would find a way to try to get out no matter what.
Yeah.
So I mean, Phillip Morris obviously was the first person he wanted to visit when he got out, but I think that he would still be pulling shit no matter what.
So then, in that case, maybe Phillip Morris does legitimize it for everybody
Yeah.
because it's like he had an altruistic reason to be
You
a
can-
fucking dickhead.
You can put a pretty face on it and be like, it was just for love.
Right.
I have a little brain fart. Y'all seen the movie Last of the Mohicans? Well, Daniel Day-Lewis throwing axes around.
I have not.
I hate that movie.
Well, there's this. It's not a throwaway line exactly, because here I am quoting it 24 years later, but he says to what's her name, who's like, his woman, "Stay alive, I will find you." And then he races off into the forest to go figure out how to do battle with the British soldiers who have stolen his woman, and he brings it. He finds her. He does battle.
He doesn't just
wins
sing
her
it.
over. He does what he says he's going to do, and we look at that as a great courageous narrative of affection, devotion, and above all things, maybe loyalty. And that
Plus
idea of
murder
loyalty
of some British soldiers. I
totally,
assume.
because they're just they're ensign meat. Just get rid of the redcoats. But the fact is, we look at that as a very powerful thing. In that example, if it's a fair one, of a fella coming back to go win over and protect his woman. And we're thinking about Stephen and Philip through that lens, but it's shifted because in my example, they're doing illegal shit and they're killing people. But yay, he looks so good in a loincloth throwing a hatchet. But then we think about Stephen in a modern day swindling people through legal loopholes because he's smart enough to sort of do it and got the balls to do so.
Right.
But he's returning to Philip. It's the same problem. It's the same dynamic. It's the same devotion. And I guess the word I want to use tonight is loyalty. That he makes a claim that I'm going to be yours and protect you and look out for you. And he's got these predilections to go be a criminal mastermind or what have you, but he's doing that in the service of somebody who he feels is worth that effort.
Well, and it's true that maybe he wouldn't have stolen so much if Philip hadn't have been there, because if he wanted Philip to be a kept man,
yeah,
right?
That's right.
And even if Philip said I don't care about the money, I don't care about that, but Jim Carrey.
On the other hand, it's not bad to have.
Exactly.
And
I
you
could see
still want to provide.
Well,
a nice
and if
life.
Jim Carrey was also maybe if he was self-conscious about the relationship at all, and he was worried that Philip might get tired of, he'd want to keep providing nice things for him to keep them in this nice lifestyle. So in some ways, you could even claim that maybe his crimes were altruistic, because it's I wasn't stealing just because I wanted nice stuff. I also wanted Philip Morris to have, a great life, to have this happy life that I feel like he deserves.
Did they have to live so nice?
Well,
Couldn't he have stolen top ramen?
Couldn't they have lived in a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment somewhere in a small North County town?
That's what I'm saying.
North County, who knows where?
No pool.
Hey, like my beer example, if you're going to steal something, you might as well steal the good beer.
Yeah, that's
Okay, so let's see. What else have I written down here? Let's see. Well, let's talk about Jim Carrey for a minute. Because he's kind of an interesting. This is a guy who he got into my radar from In Living Color.
Totally.
As a kid, he was the token white guy on that show. And
what a token white guy.
I know.
And honestly,
if you're gonna pick one, that's the one.
And he was one of the breakout stars of the show.
Right.
But for my money, because I didn't like those characters he did. I didn't like Fire Marshal Bill. I didn't like that fucking bodybuilder chick that he did. Dude, I like Tommy Davidson. I wasn't Tommy Davidson. And Damon Wayans. Those are the guys I like. I was watching their stand-up specials.
Their careers didn't go as far. Right?
No,
they're still working and they're still producing. But
Jim Carrey was just totally mugging, and but I Tommy Davidson I thought was well, actually, Jim Carrey is a pretty fucking smoking impressionist.
So
let that be said.
When he was on Saturday Night Live,
he's so classic.
And his own stand-up. So he did a stand-up special for Showtime back in the day, and he did a few impressions, I think, on that, and he's pretty good. But then jumping into films, we saw Ace Ventura the weekend it opened.
Yep.
And people flipped, and I thought that thing was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And I didn't think it was funny, and I thought he was annoying, and I thought he was fucking stupid, and I hated this. And so I ended up hating a bunch of shit that he did, but then later on he did some stuff that ended up being pretty fucking rad.
Cable Guy,
which actually I haven't seen.
Oh shit!
Neither have I. We need to see that.
Yeah, I would totally
Top of
watch
your
it.
list,
I would
right.
totally watch it. But this was amazing, and actually one of the most bizarre ones. How the Grinch Stole Christmas is a movie that I fucking hate, and he is dumb in it, and yet somehow he's actually funny in it, which just blows my mind. But so, anyways, he's a weird guy for me. I don't know if that's the case for anybody else, but I thought everybody could shout out maybe a best and worst Jim Carrey if they had that. I mean, is anybody super on his team?
I don't know.
I
was exposed to him at the year Ace Ventura came out. It was one of my first 5 PG-13 films.
Right. We're gonna take it out, Jason. It's gonna be exciting.
It was like a cartoon in real life. That was kind of you had to like that if you liked it. Because I've watched it again recently because I was curious. Does this hold up or is it nostalgia? And it kind of does. But you also have to really he is really really over the top animated
Yeah,
in that. He's
yeah.
doing his best to stretch his body in ways that only Bugs Bunny can do.
Yeah, and he
Totally,
and he
that-
succeeds.
Most of the time, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of suckling at the Naked Gun teat a little bit too, like
A little bit, but it's
Tearing
not.
up
It's not as
torch,
much
man.
of a spoof. It's just more like a stupid comedy.
Right.
like more like a Super Fuzz.
Right. Whereas Naked Gun kind of
Well,
ties in that
no,
whole
he's-
kind of
it's a
airplane,
Sherlock
that
Holmes
Abrams,
thing.
Zucker Abrams kind of spoofy thing, where like the rules of reality are right out the window.
Right.
Anything can happen. Whereas with
It's like a Who's Harry Crumb.
Yeah, it's more based in the real world, but it's still just silly
Right.
things
Yeah,
going on.
Ace Ventura is basically Sherlock Holmes. Like,
Yeah.
he's completely inept in everything except for like this one thing,
He's a
and
savant,
that he's the
yeah.
best.
Sherlock Holmes
okay.
we talked out of his ass.
Okay, well, so what about you, Jason? What do you, best and worst Jim Carrey?
Best, because I like his serious stuff too. Like the Truman Show
Yeah.
was
Right.
something like a strange. I don't remember how old I was, but I was like, probably like 13 or 14, I think, when it came
Probably.
out.
It was like 2000 maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe, yeah. So maybe we're like 15 or 16, but for something that wasn't really like triggers the lizard animal brain. Like I watched that a lot.
Okay.
And he was great in Eternal Sunshine, but I still like his cartoonish stuff in like The Mask and
The
Ace
Mask.
Ventura
Fucking
and
somebody
the
stop
first
me.
Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Hey,
okay,
those three
jeez.
came out in '94. Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber,
They
and The
did.
Mask. That was like peak.
Wow.
Jim
Yeah, he was on
Carrey.
fire. He
He
was on.
He had a
yeah.
streak and
He
Liar
was
Liar on
really
top
big.
of that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
a couple
for
years
bit.
later, but yeah.
Little Milk.
I think I've seen the ones that you guys have named, and I like them all. So I guess I don't really have any Jim Carrey movies that I don't like.
There is that
You
awful.
never hated him?
That
I
23
mean, I don't like
movie.
The Mask, but it's not
Oh,
because
yeah,
of him.
Just the whole thing's dumb.
Yeah, I just don't like
That's
The
just really
Mask.
the whole thing.
Oh no! My new favorite Jim Carrey is his role in Kick-Ass 2.
Yeah,
Oh, that was-
he's really.
Yeah, yeah,
good.
yeah.
That's right. That's
Although
right.
he did
That's
kind of
right.
take something away from that of being like a douchebag and like decrying the
Yeah.
movie after he was in it, being like, oh, because there was like a school
Lost a
shooting
lot
that
of
happened
respect.
right after
Yeah,
like
right.
the,
He was
the,
talking
the
shit.
trailer
He had a
broke. and
crisis
he
of
was,
conscience.
Yeah, like talking shit. Even that
that went
went nothing to do with school
antithetical to what
shootings.
Mark Miller.
What about
does.
you, John?
I would say actually favorite probably might be Cable Guy.
Yeah.
Because that is a great overlooked kind of black comedy, and it's a really interesting. The character he portrays in that, like I think I mentioned before, there's certain characters that you could take out of the movie that they're in and put them other places, and the character kind of is stronger than the story. And I think the character that he plays in Cable Guy, like I wish there was like a Batman villain or something that
Right.
you would see more times than just in this one movie, because he creates a really interesting character with that. And then worst, I would say, was probably. I almost want to say Ace Ventura, because I saw that about a year ago too, and it does not hold up. And even though he was being very cartoony, it is just really annoying.
But what about like 23 though? Like that awful horror numerology.
I actually didn't see that, so that
Oh,
might
I
not
saw
count.
that.
It's So
Was
I
it
mean,
dumb?
Oh, way
Yeah.
dumb.
and also personally, The Mask. Even though I liked that movie as a kid,
Yeah,
that
you
made me
don't
read
ever go visit.
Well,
that
no, I know,
again.
and I read the comics, right? And the comics are really serious and dark.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're fucked.
And that made me bummed because,
So much
man,
murder.
if they made that movie of like the comics was people getting killed all the time, that would have been awesome. Like now, I wish they would do a dark
Yeah.
R-rated Mask movie like the comics were.
we need a
And
reboot of
it's-
The Mask.
And I don't know how you read that, and it's like, oh,
They
let's
did.
make this for kids with Jim Carrey. Let's
Yeah.
Let's just reboot it, but also keep Jim Carrey in.
like
Well,
like
have him
Stanley.
reboot his
read
reboot
the Mask's
his
first appearance in Dark Horse Presents, and then see Son of the Mask, and question how you get from point
Oh,
A
jeez.
to point B.
You don't, if you're lucky.
But somehow they did.
What about you, Garrett?
I love Dumb and Dumber.
Uh,
Made my 12-year-old watch it like 3 weeks ago. I said, "You're gonna like this. It's gonna be so good." And well, we had a nice time. And it's not because it's great, but it exhibits all of his abilities, I think, to explore physical humor and put on smart dumbness.
Yeah.
because he's a hugely intelligent performer. And one of I think the very great things that he can do, and I think he's probably searching for a vehicle to expose this very fully. Have you noticed how he can use his eyes and express a great deal of emotion with just very quiet squeezing of his eyelids?
Yeah.
And his body is so plastic. We get lost in that because he is kind of, like Jason said, he's an animated figure
Triple
in a lot
jointed.
of respects. And then he's in his middle 50s. He's just ripped to shreds, looks great. All that's just great. But the thing of his performance capability to see a human being really, really doing some stuff, it's all up his nose to eyebrow. And he's great at that. And you don't get that kind of a close-up very often. But you do get glimpses of it in Dumb and Dumber with that stupid set of dentures he wears. And
Yeah, we
that
talk
dumb
about
haircut.
diastema.
But I agree with John. Cable Guy is outstanding. I may be overpraising it because I felt like I was on the bandwagon on that really early because I saw it when it came out. I think I have a Laserdisc copy.
Nice. Nice.
Somewhere in my garage, it's like this is the shit.
Bring that in.
And-
We have a Laserdisc
And
player.
like 13 people in America saw it when it came out, and I was one of them. And I thought, oh, this is so good. But I think when he tries to swing for the fences without any proper like batter training, when he goes for the majestic, Truman Show's fine, but I don't think it's great. And when he does that kind of a purposefully serious role, Man on the Moon, I think is trying too hard. It doesn't do the
That's
job.
how I felt.
It's a mess.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think that he's a gifted man in so many ways. But in general, he's swallowed up in like appealing to 12-year-old boys. And whenever he does that, there's stuff there because I have an inner 12-year-old boy.
And marrying really dumb
an inner
women.
12-year-old boy, much like the videos we were watching earlier. That's not going to sound right to all y'all
Yeah,
in
that's getting cut out.
audio land. But
That's going on the editor floor.
yeah, I know. Yeah, avoid this
For the
teacher.
outtakes.
Oh,
Okay.
shit.
All right, Chris.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a huge fan. I like everything he does.
It doesn't matter.
All right. Short and sweet.
Put it in front of me. I'll watch it.
For me personally, best is probably actually, honestly, this. I don't know if maybe it's something that only certain directors can really see what his skill is, but this is like the first time I just other than maybe the fucking Grinch, which is
Well, now I need to
embarrassing
watch
to
that.
say.
Right,
Which
right,
is embarrassing to say.
I want to go back and change a grade.
This is
Somebody's flunking.
this is like the first time in a long time. I loved him, and Kick-Ass 2, he's really good.
Yeah, he's cool
in
in
as
that,
well.
too.
That was
It's
cool.
a small part, but he's really awesome. in
but
it.
that might be his gig now. Like he and Stallone, if they could just be restricted to 10 minutes of screen time,
Just, yeah, a little
with
bit.
great
No
concentration
shit.
and
Little
direction,
taste.
they could be the great
No
players. that
shit. Yeah, I mean, he was just so sort of magnetic in this, and you can't help but fall for this character.
He does manage to be a very good Jim Carrey in this movie without being too much Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
He still does
Perfect
physical
balance.
stuff. He does
Perfect
like somebody point out
balance.
when he's doing his crimes at the beginning, like the insurance things and the slip and falls. And
Yeah.
he does that swan dive on the escalator.
Yeah,
that
you
you
get that
get
little
that
taste.
physical stuff, but nothing too much, nothing too over the top or in your face, just a little bit.
He was just so wonderful in this, and so sort of
There should be a sequel. I still love Philip Morris.
Yeah,
that'd be
right,
great.
Where he breaks out like a
fictional
Philip Morris,
sequel
like,
Just
it's a
think of a
heist-
fictional one where he breaks
heist
out
film where
and
they
the two of
break
them
him
go on
out.
the road and Bonnie and Clyde style. They
would be
rob
rad.
banks and
They bust
pick up
him
Gene
out.
Wilder, eat the wrong hamburgers.
And then I gotta say, worst, even though I really haven't been too big of a fan, worst hands down, Batman Forever.
Oh, you're right.
I
You're
was
right.
going to mention
Yeah,
that.
oh my
it's
god,
terrible.
it
Yeah,
just
and,
cringe-inducing.
and it's terrible. And he's like one of the best parts.
And the worst thing is,
oh god,
I feel like his performance made Tommy Lee Jones's worse. Like I feel like Tommy Lee Jones looked over, was like, "Oh, I guess I got to take this shit to some kind of crazy 11."
Either that or Schumacher told him
Yeah,
that because
that could
Tommy Lee
be.
Jones is fucking embarrassing in that movie.
That
Yeah,
whole
you
movie's
watch that movie
embarrassing.
again.
And
It's
I do
awful.
I
Yeah.
do like Tommy Lee Jones for the most part, but
I do too.
I don't know. He's got to be reined in. Like I thought Lincoln, his performance was garbage.
And he's chewing the
But
scenery,
dude,
for sure.
You
and
know,
in,
but
and
in Batman Forever, it's just you have to look away
Forever
You have
and
to-
ever.
You have to change the channel.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is there anything else anybody wants to mention about I Heart You, Philip Morris, before we put it to bed?
Let's
Yeah,
smoke
okay.
some cigarettes.
I have one.
Yes.
This movie actually has like pretty low ratings on IMDb.
Oh,
really?
And,
People.
and Rotten Tomatoes. It's got like 60 and like 6
Oh
stars.
wow, that's
Are there
surprising.
remarks?
Do we know
Did
why?
you read? Yeah. Did they say?
Oh, I didn't look.
Oh,
I
no.
just noticed and was like, that's very flawed.
Yeah, because you read. Yeah.
That's
You know-
wrong.
I wonder if
Maybe because it's just too much of a rom-com, even if you take out the gayness, that's hard. It's
Maybe.
a rom-com.
Right.
Maybe
right.
it's
expecting
This
more
is something that
cigarettes.
Matthew McConaughey has kind of cornered him and Kate Hudson.
Yeah.
does it lack?
Cornered for terrible.
Is it like? Is it because it eschews actual facts about the story?
Yeah,
in
maybe it
favor of-
bends the
Yeah, I'm sure
truth
that's-
too much.
Yeah, I don't know.
6.7 on IMDb. It did win some awards though
Small ones
for
though,
film
I'm
critics
sure.
and stuff, and Cannes. I think it's.
Well, just
it maybe
imagine if
is-
this movie had
Wait.
been
What did
really
it win
promoted.
at Cannes?
At the Cannes, it won the Golden Camera. It was nominated for the Golden Camera.
No.
Maybe it's like the Intouchables, like where the biggest criticism is that there's no real adversity because there's adversity in this, but he
There's
kinda-
still some white fellas doing some shit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and
Yeah.
maybe it's just too much.
They get to live.
It's maybe a lot of people have a hard time dealing with a gay love story.
Uh,
So I can see some people getting put off, just not having a hard time getting into that world.
And this is one of Leslie Mann's like good performances.
Yeah.
There we go.
Excuse me. All of her performances are good.
She's very good.
performances.
We love
very
Leslie
good.
Mann and her resting
We
bitch
love
face.
her.
Yeah.
Such nastiness.
Okay. All right. Well, that'll do it for us here at the Cinemarijuana Theatre. We got to watch something else. Until next time, I'm Ed.
I'm Kenzie.
I'm John.
I'm Jason.
I'm Chris.
I'm Garrett.
And we'll be back next week with more greatness. Thanks for tuning in.
We love you, listeners.
Filmstain.com.
Stain!
5, 9, 4, 0, 8, 1.